And so, yeah, they're lying on my identity, you know, and trying to actively, you know, incessantly all year, every year, try to take my life behind something that's not true, that's easily been disproven, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands of times per year, simultaneous to them still trying to kill me and, you know, trying to sabotage my life, or, you know, all of that thousands and thousands of times simultaneous to them being disproven, you know, at the same exact time, you know, all year, every year long. You feel me? And so they're using falsehoods to try to, you know, take my life. So, I mean, that becomes a life or death situation. So me displaying my poetry and posting it or verbalizing it is not just, you know, random acts or hobbies, but it also is, because I'm an artist, feel me? So the structures working with artists to turn my life into this controversy-like reality, you know what I'm saying, to try to turn it or coerce me into politics and legality against my will without my participation over the course of many years, while I displayed it simultaneous to the general public as well as any other entities that it may have concerned. You know what I'm saying? They allowed, through negligence, you know what I'm saying, to allow the situation to snowball to a point to where, you know what I'm saying, they would justify them to illegally, you know what I'm saying, you know, take or do something to my body of work, you know what I'm saying, unconstitutionally against my freedom of expression, freedom of religion, you know what I'm saying, especially those things, you know, banning my right to travel, you know, all types of constitutional rights that's being constantly, you know, overthrown, overshadowed, you know, all year, every year, you know, of course, civil rights, my civil rights over instincts. You know, so this is something that continues to happen and compound in plain sight year after year after year, you know. And so, I mean, I can't in any way be antagonized or demonized, even incriminated, you know, behind the self-defense. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, they try to evict you off the streets. You know what I'm saying? Just like a homeless person, you know, putting a homeless person on the streets, evicting them from the homeless shelter and put them on the streets and still trying to evict them from the streets. Where do you go next? Ask yourself that question. That's what the government has been doing in the interest of jealous rappers and artists that's been stalking and targeting my life since my childhood. You know, putting unconstitutional, you know, torture apparatuses on a living human being, you know, like a science experiment or something, and remotely, you know, monitoring without consent. You feel me? Without consent, because there is nobody that was there that could have given consent. You know, without consent, there's nobody that could have given consent, because, you know, I mean, I'm my own person. I give consent. You know, I'm an individual. You know what I'm saying? It's recognized under the law and recognized under the structure. So they had no right to do anything that they did. You know what I'm saying? But yet the structures to this day, through people that's from the same place, that they also have in on it, you know, continue to compound this situation on my life against my will and without my participation. You feel me? So the situation is not a normal situation. So it can't be treated, my life can't be treated averagely, you feel me? But at the same time, my rights can't be deprived behind something that I prevented years ago. I mean, as a regular person, as a civilian, all I'm responsible for is informing the general public or anybody else who would make concern. You feel me? That's all I'm responsible for. The rest of it is regular law and order in the civil society. You feel me? That's supposed to just happen. It means as soon as awareness of the situation or the things I was describing was awareness was brought to it, to whoever it may concern, you know, in charge of law and order in society, then the situation should have been, you know, instantly cease and desist and disrupted at that very second. You know what I'm saying? It should have never ever got to this point that it's at now. You feel me? And plus, I've been Elijah since '94, so I mean, I had the fame, whether it was informally, you know. So I can't be looked at as a regular person, because I'm not, you know. And that's in terms of my art, you know. I am a regular person, but and that's the thing. I am a regular person, but the crime situation I've been under is not a regular situation. It turns my life into an unnatural, you know, situation. You feel me? I'm a regular person, but the crime upon my life that's intentionally not being recognized while it's been proven, you feel me? And the damages from it are being recognized in order to deprive me of further rights. You know what I'm saying? But the crime itself is still not being formally recognized with every reason and right for it to be recognized. In fact, the crime is still persistent as I speak right now. You know? And fame is being used to overshadow it. Yeah, I'm famous for being talented. But before this point, like back in 17 and all the way back to 14, if they saying that my talent wasn't mine, then why did I have the fame? You feel me? You know what I'm saying? What was the fame for then? Like, why was these legal entities so enthralled in my life at that point in time, simultaneous to the violence that I got, while my literary, aesthetics and things were being assimilated against my will without my consent by certain leading, celebrities and influential figures. You know what I'm saying? Like, why simultaneous to they saying that these legal entities responsible for, the deal of domestic terrorism I'm going through, then why, simultaneous to their, unconstitutional attack on my life, artists are, getting fatter from my, their pockets getting better from my aesthetics and things against my will without my participation, at the same time that the injustices are doing that. You know what I'm saying? Answers is what I'm asking for. And then action, for whatever necessary. Whatever fit the situation. Help. You know what I'm saying? Worldwide. This is the crime situation is way past anything that if it shake the scale, like it shake way past the parameters of legality or any type of constitution or anything. It's like they're rewriting the Constitution. You know what I'm saying? They're colluding together to counsel an innocent person. You know what I'm saying? I'm being double teamed by coats, and then it's rooted in the structures, and the structures are with it. They're enabling what these artists are trying to do to my life wrongfully. In plain sight, every day. And they become more and more shameless, feel me? I get tortured with a measure of torture and things in my personal life that the public don't see, but the structures are, actively involved in it. Simultaneous to what artists are trying to do to my life, who hold no type of governmental standing. And this is national, known, awareness is, and it's still coming on. It's still going on, like in plain sight. So I'm just saying, my life, I'm a regular person, but the crime that's happening right now is not regular. It's not a regular natural crime. It involves even structures. And every passing day, I ain't got justice. The crime just compound, and I suffer more and more unrecoverable damages, whether it's to my health, my finances, my well-being, and it's forcing me in a position of still trying to maintain while they doing everything to stop me from that. So I take 3 steps forward, they knock me back 10 steps, So I'm just saying, man, it's wild like that. And so, the situation always larger. You know what I'm saying? It's always larger than the locations, and all of that. But they try to trivialize the situation down to where they can, try to trivialize it, to be lesser than what it is in order to justify, contributing or working or doing things to my life that contribute to that same general purpose and cause that I already been exposing, for years, simultaneous to it still happening, So I've already suffered unrecoverable damages. And what I'm doing, promoting the gospel of the Jesus Christ. So America's showing that it solidly and firmly and incessantly rejects the gospel, because you're only good as your structures, and the structures are allowing these artists to have their power on purpose, which is biblical. They give their power to the beast, because the extensions of the beast are these artists that came from the beast that originally targeted me those years ago. So everybody else that targeted me later are extensions of the beast, so they're still the beast. You feel me? And the structures are giving their power to the beast and then allowing them to have their way in this, over the life of an innocent person, like control, like a slavery, so they can make so much money and prosper off me, like as they already had, against my will without my consent. And then trying to counsel my fight back, illegally. It's an elaborate ploy to somehow counsel my self-defense by assimilating me still into adverse realities I'm not a part of without my participation. Without my participation, against my will. Considering me things that I don't consider myself. I'm an artist, an author. They saying all of that because it complements their framing strategy. They say whatever they have to say because it complements the framing. It's an act of injustice on my life that's still happening with the knowledge of the entire country. there. An unexcusable, unforgivable, unacceptable injustice. Way past worse injustice than anything else that's happened in 2020 all the way back to 2014. It's worse than all of that. Anything else that's happened, this has been worse than that. This right here should have the main attention of anything happening in this country. You know? This worse than all that together. So I guess answers. Understanding that, you know, assistance.